Hi, and welcome to Focus on Health, the twice a month show where we talk about ways that families and individuals and initiatives and organizations are keeping people active and healthy and just having fun here in the Winsted area and the surrounding towns. And today we got another great couple of guests actually from the Winchester Land Trust. And they work hard. We're going to learn more about all the things that they do, but generally they're protecting all of the wonderful natural spaces out there for the rest of us to get out and enjoy and stay active and healthy. So it's, well, my name is Jay Cohen, so welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And we're here enjoying the brand new studio at Charter Communications, and we're happy to be back after a long summer break. But I'd like to introduce our guests today. We have with us Shelley Harms and Jen Perga, the President and Vice President of the Winchester Land Trust. So thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks.
You, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
So I know land trusts are pretty common in different towns. I mean, it's all over the state and all over the country, tend to have similar missions, but also may have slightly different. So what's the main goal, the main focus of the Winchester Land Trust?
Well, thank you for asking, because people do ask us that. The Winchester Land Trust, we are a nonprofit, tax-exempt organization, all volunteers, and as you said, we're very local. We're one of probably, I believe it's more than 100 land trusts in the state of Connecticut alone. So it's a group of people who care about the land and who want to preserve it for future generations. And so our main focus is to be the steward for open space and natural resources so that we can all enjoy it and so that our children and their children can enjoy it as well.
And there's, beyond just protecting it for people to enjoy, I know there's all sorts of benefits, economic benefits, environmental benefits. So what are some of the other benefits of protecting this land?
Well, nature is important to people. We're part of nature, and it provides us our food, water, and air. So it's pretty basic services there. And we also need it. We need to be able to be out and see and be in places like forests and see lakes, and so one of that is the purpose of the land trust, is really to keep those there forever so they can keep providing us with the important water, food, and air that we need, and also for us to be in it and enjoy it.
And I believe there's an economic benefit as well. When land gets developed and you build housing on land that previously was open, you are bringing tax revenue, but if there's families, it tends to cost you more than the tax revenue you're bringing in. Have I heard correctly?
That's what we understand.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It actually, benefits people in economic ways as well.
Yeah.
It also, I believe, if you have preserved open space in your town, it makes everybody's property more valuable.
Absolutely, yeah. Everybody wants to have that huge backyard that leads right into all the public property with the forest and everything behind us. So yeah, it's a great intangible benefit there. Absolutely. Now, so the land trust actually owns some of these properties that you acquire. What's the benefit to the land trust owning it versus a private individual or the town itself?
Well, yes, we do own 310 acres. We preserve in total at this point 361 acres, and so 310 of those acres are owned by the land trust, and 50 acres are easements. They're owned by other people. I mean, the benefit of the Winchester Land Trust owned land is that it is available for public use, not for motor vehicles, but we do allow walking, bird watching, cross-country skiing, that kind of thing. And if you look at the map that we brought, you can see the Land Trust's largest preserve, which is 280 acres in Winchester Center, which is just beautiful to go out and walk on. Or
I think we have a shot of the map. There it is.
There it is. You see the big green thing in the middle. That's Winchester Land Trust land, and it also goes over toward Winchester Lake through Hurlbut Field. The big part we call Eric Woods. And then Hurlbut Field is the one that goes to the lake. And we actually did just also acquire 26 acres to the right of that isn't even on the map. But it's just beautiful, and a great place to go and enjoy things. We also have frontage on Highland Lake. where there's some boulders that people just sit there, they fish, or they watch the birds, or just have their cup of coffee, whatever.
It's nice to have that protected property where people can just go and enjoy it and know that it's kind of there in perpetuity.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's there for.
Now, Jen, acquiring this land can't be easy or cheap. So how do you guys go about actually acquiring this land?
Luckily, most of the land has been donated. The big piece that we were looking at before was donated by a man named Lou Eric. He was a board member, and he had acquired the land over a long period of time. And then when he died, the land trust got most of the land. So that's how we've acquired most of our parcels. We have purchased a couple using state monies, the Connecticut Open Space Fund. So there was a piece that Shelley mentioned on Highland Lake where people are fishing all the time, winter and summer, that gives them access. And that piece, the state paid about 60%, and then people donated the other 40%. And the same thing with the Hurlbut Field property. The state paid a big percentage of the land, and then the land trust through donations of, really a lot of people in Winsted sent checks in for us to be able to purchase that land. So we've been really lucky through donations of monies and land, and it's something that's sort of ongoing. We just hope people will give us either.
Absolutely, and it's to everyone's benefit. It comes back, tenfold in being able to enjoy that property.
Yeah.
And now you guys have been at this a long time. I understand you just celebrated a big anniversary.
We did, 25 years.
Wow. That's impressive.
And so we invited all of our members. We had a big celebration, and it was a good event.
It was great. We had, what was really special about it is we had the Sherwood family was the main sponsor and really participated in it. And their father, who has passed away, was the Land Trust's founder.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So you mentioned members. So how big an organization is it?
When we're about to send out our newsletter, and we send it out to over 260 people, and most of those people are people who send us donations and are pretty active. A lot of them come on our hikes, and so we're lucky to have a lot of support from the town.
We also have, I believe, 228 likes on our Facebook page.
Oh.
So be sure to like us on Facebook.
Well, I'm sure after this show, it's going to skyrocket.
It's a great way to find out what's going on and what's next.
Absolutely. Yeah. So is there like a minimum donation to become a member, or how do you become a member?
People can go to our website, or we're at a lot of town events. We go to the Fall Foliage Festival, we're at the Farmers Market, and so people can just send in. We get anywhere from $5 to $100, and it's just up to that person. They can join for any amount, really.
Excellent. Now, obviously, in not protecting this land just to keep it isolated, you want it to be used and explored. And I know you have different events. We have some great pictures here. I think this one is from Connecticut Trails Day, you told me?
Yeah, so every June, it's the Connecticut Forest and Park Association, and there's probably 200 or 300 events all over the state. And we always have a hike on that day, and we usually get 10, 15 people to come out, and often they're not from Winsted, so we meet new people, they come to our town and see our trails, and even if you don't come to the one in Winsted, it's a really fun day for people all over the state.
Yeah. And you get to learn about a lot of new assets and resources didn't even realize were in the area.
It's true, in that booklet. You can find the booklet at libraries or the post office.
I know we had them at the Y as well.
Yeah.
And people who enjoyed the hike said, you guys should have trail maps so we can come back and do this. People can do this anytime they want. So what we did is we looked for some funding, and we got a nice grant from the New England Grassroots Environmental Foundation.
Excellent.
And we have now...
Yeah, so we have 3 trail maps. You can download them on our website. Excellent. And one takes you around Eric Woods on almost all dirt roads that are really beautiful, the Waterbury Turnpike area. Another trail is on our Hurlbut Field property, and so you can start at the boat launch at Lake Winchester, or you can start on Grantville Road, and you can do a loop there. And we also have a short trail, but it goes between Newfield Road and South Road up in Winchester Center. So we really, we have 3 trails that we're actively maintaining. We're hoping to add more in the next year or so and just open up more land to people.
Excellent.
So look for those on our website.
And what's the web address?
Winchester-landtrust.org.
All right, wonderful, nice and easy. And
Yeah.
I'm sure if they Google it, they'll find it as
Yeah.
well.
They will,
Exactly.
And what are some other activities that you put on as far as education and getting people out there and enjoying the facilities?
Well, we do try to do an educational event at least once a year.
I think we have some
we have
photos.
a picture of one of those. This was a bird of prey demonstration that we actually held outside on one of our properties. It was great because the lecturer would be holding a bird, and we would be seeing birds flying above us.
Oh, wow.
In nature, and that was a great event. We've had the reptile guy. We've had a talk on rain gardens. That kind of thing. We try
So
to do some.
each year we either have one on our property or at Beardsley Memorial Library. So we try to have at least one educational event per year.
Wonderful. Well, we'd be happy to host you at the Y as well and give you another location
that's a
to
good idea,
reach out
yeah.
to new potential audience. Now, looking at the pictures there, I see one with the snow. It reminds me that these facilities are year round.
Yeah.
People can get out, get active. You mentioned cross country skiing earlier, probably snowshoeing.
Exactly.
And just
And you
getting
can just
out.
see how gorgeous it is.
It is. It's beautiful. So, which property is this that we're looking at now?
That is the Old Waterbury Turnpike, and on the right of the photo is our Eric Woods, and on the left is our newest Ruiz property. So you've got Winchester Land Trust preserved land on both sides there.
Wonderful. So you've got, it sounds like you're kind of snowballing around this central piece. Is that your focus right now, to continue to get adjacent land next to the particular piece, or are you looking at other sections throughout town to get more property?
Well, it's always good to add and have a really large protected property. So that's certainly what we're looking at. But we're also we're town-wide. We even have an easement in a neighboring town that affects the ecosystem in Winchester. And in fact, currently what we're working on is a donation of a property on the Still River.
Excellent.
In that part of town. So yeah.
Very cool. Now the easement, the benefit of someone giving you an easement, they keep the property, but they no longer have to pay the taxes on it, right? Or is that how it works?
No, they still pay the taxes.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that what they do is, though, they're able to deduct the value of that easement that they donated from their income taxes, I
Gotcha.
believe. And
They agree that they won't ever develop the property, so it will stay, wooded or as a grassland. Often that land is already at a reduced rate because through the state you can have a reduction in your taxes if you own a large piece of property. So their taxes usually don't change that much, but it is a benefit that often people get to use the land, and it won't get developed in the future.
Sure. And there are probably protections if someone gets hurt on the land.
well, most of the easement land is not open to the public. That's another benefit, I guess, that the person, if you wanted to protect it that way, but you don't want people walking on it, an easement's a good way to do it. If you donate it to the land trust, or if we own it, then
becomes
then
accessible.
it's publicly accessible,
All right.
right?
So it's a nice kind of win-win. It gets protected for nature, but they still get to maintain it.
Some of the benefits of ownership, right?
Absolutely. Well, it's a nice compromise there.
Right.
So what other nice shots did you bring with you today?
Well, this is Hurlbut Field. The field part. There's also a large forest
Now,
part.
it looks like it's pretty wide open there. I mean, how large is that space?
Well, we have the whole property is 37 acres, and the field portion, I believe, is 14 acres.
Wow.
Right now, though, it's a waving field of corn.
Oh, is it really?
So it's
Okay.
a little different looking right now.
So we're going to maintain that as farmland. So in the future, it will be more of grasses that the farmer can use to feed his cows. And so we, an advantage is it's helping farmers. People can still hike there. And also there's a population of this bird called a bobolink, and they nest there. And you can see them when you go out hiking. So we feel it's, helping a lot of species, including human ones.
Sure.
Yeah, the bobolink is a state-listed species, and
wow.
they thrive at Hurlbut Field. So this is actually the last year we're planning to have the farmer plant corn, and we are going to be putting, the plan is to seed it next year with warm season grasses. They're apparently really great for wildlife, and they're also still useful for the farmer to feed his cows with. So
Excellent.
that's the management plan for that property.
And I know some of the most diverse areas for wildlife are that border between like the low grasslands and the forests. So when you've got that edge, you really get that huge biodiversity.
Yep, and that's a big advantage at that
There's a lot of that.
property. Yeah.
Another one we have here is, this is one of our properties at Highland Lake. It's kind of spectacular, as you can see from the rocks. That's Jen there in the front.
So that's where you mentioned people go fishing and
No, this is a different one
Oh, that's
actually,
different, okay.
but we didn't bring a photo of the actual lake frontage. But this is a small parcel, sort of above the lake, and preserving those parcels helps to preserve the water quality of Highland Lake and also the scenic value of the area.
absolutely.
The last one, I guess, is it's another picture. This is again of the Waterbury Turnpike in the fall. That's what it will look like if you go out there pretty soon. And again, we have on the left it's Eric Woods, and on the right is the Ruiz property that was just donated this past year.
Yeah, this family donated it. It's 26 acres. It's all wooded. It will have a trail on it eventually, kind of a loop trail, and it's beautiful. There's an old quarry there where people took stones out, and it's just historic and beautiful.
That's excellent. So, so what's coming up? Like, what's next on the horizon? As far as your mission, your goals, your activities. What should we be on the lookout for?
Well, our annual meeting is next, a membership meeting, which is going to be August 25th at 4 o'clock at the gazebo in Winchester Center. And basically that's when it always is, the last Sunday of August, 4 o'clock at that beautiful gazebo in the middle of the green. And members can come and find out about the land trust. We usually serve refreshments. So that's the very next thing. We also have work days.
Sure. Does take work to keep these looking as good as they do.
Definitely takes work. We're planning a work day shortly for Hurlbut Field, where we're going to be taking out invasive species. There's part of that field that can't grow crops because it's too rocky. And so we need to go out there and sort of by hand take out the Japanese barberry and the multiflora rose and some of the other invasives. So we're going to do that. Also, if you want to look at the old Waterbury Turnpike again, we every fall we go out there and do a cleanup. You would be amazed at some of the stuff that gets discarded along that trail. We've pulled out toilets, we've pulled out bureaus, dressers, furniture. We had a wine cooler, a little wine refrigerator. Anyway, so we do that.
So by looking at our Facebook page, people can find out if we're going to have a cleanup or a hike, and we'll try to get things in the newspaper as well.
And as I said, we're also working on that donation at the Still River. We're getting some funding for that. We went out and found a grant, and we're so grateful to the grant-making organizations for supporting the work.
Absolutely. Now, what other do you have kind of a map of other pieces that you'd really like to see? Kind of like your wish list of areas and places that you'd like to acquire.
There are families that we work with that we know their long-term goal is to protect their property, and so we try to let them know through surrounding land trust. They'll sometimes have a workshop about how to protect your property, or how to best do this with your taxes or your inheritance plan, and so we try to just work kind of long-term with families that we think that they're going to protect their property. So that's something that's kind of ongoing.
And we have a list of criteria that we're looking for. So if someone has a parcel they're interested in preserving, we would come out, look at it, and see, kind of assess the conservation aspects of the property, see how difficult would it be to manage. Various things go into our assessment.
Okay. Excellent. Now, you mentioned other land trusts. Do you do a lot of partnering on projects or education or just collaborating on ideas? And
We try, yeah. There are some groups. There's a green print group to the west of us through the Housatonic River.
Valley Association, yeah.
And they try to help have some meetings throughout the year so that land trusts can meet, just who's on the other boards and what are they working on, and is it something that's right across our border. There's also, once a year, there's this big convocation of all land trusts in Connecticut, and everyone gets together, and you see the same people every year, so you get to know them, and we share ideas about what's working and what's not working. And
We have an actual partnership too with the Norfolk Land Trust. We have there's a 47-acre property, and it's in Norfolk, but it has headwaters for Winchester Lake. So there's a headwaters and a stream going through it.
Oh.
So it affects Winchester's ecosystem. And anyway, the Norfolk Land Trust owns the 47 acres, but the Winchester Land Trust has the easement on that.
Oh, wow.
So that it's Land Trust owned and Land Trust watched, basically, with the easement. So we work together with Norfolk on that.
excellent. And do you ever work with national organizations like the Nature Conservancy and groups like that?
well, we sure would if we could. I mean, the Nature Conservancy actually owns some land in Winsted.
Okay.
And the Heritage Land Trust from Torrington owns some land in Winsted. So we have over time, met people from those organizations, and we haven't actually purchased land with anything, but that's pretty common for some big land trusts to partner with smaller ones, and we would love to do it if the opportunity comes
Sure.
up, because they bring so much knowledge and sometimes resources with them.
Excellent. So now, how long have you two been doing this personally? I mean, the Land Trust has been around 25 years. How long have you guys been doing this?
Jen, you've been here longer
I
than
think
me.
2004.
I joined the board in 2005.
Okay.
I guess we're about the same.
It's still quite a while.
It has been.
So what's been your favorite part? What keeps you going?
Well, it's been great working with the people. I mean, it's just been a lot of fun, and to have several people that just have a common goal and
Sure.
and a lot of energy. I've
We
enjoyed
have
it.
really good board members, and we've been
And
able.
we should say their names.
Yeah.
Okay, Jen and me. Doug Fenninger is our treasurer. Louise Van Alstyne is our secretary. Susan Clausen, David Woodworth, Kathy Onelia, and Chris Royer, who sadly is going to be leaving us at this annual meeting. Her term is up, and has she been on it 25 years?
I don't
She
know.
might have been on it almost
member.
almost
Wow.
all of our 25 years, but she's going to be an honorary director. She's
Sure.
not leaving us.
Can't let good people like that go.
That's right.
But I mean, we have people who will come out with chainsaws and other people who come out with bags to pick up garbage, and we really have great volunteers. And
Well, when everyone's got the same passion, it just brings a lot of that fun with it. So yeah, absolutely, I'm sure. So what would you say to anyone who's maybe thinking about getting involved?
Do it. We'd love to have you.
one of the ways we've met people, though, is they might come to an annual meeting, they might come to a cleanup or to a hike, and that's how we've got some of our best board members. Is we got to know them a little bit at an event, and then they just kept coming back, and we say, "Great, join the board."
That's right.
You check in, but you can't get out. Now, are there any scheduled hikes coming up beyond the annual meeting?
Well, it's a hike with with picking up garbage.
Well, a hike with a purpose, even better.
No, like I said, in the fall we do our annual cleanup along the Waterbury Turnpike. When the bugs have stopped, and
Sure.
Probably
And-
mid to end of October.
and you figure snow will fall, so nobody can go out and dump anything else after you do it.
Well, and you certainly get the benefit of that time of all the leaf peeping while you're working.
That's right. That's right.
Certainly a beautiful hike, I'm sure.
We should mention the Winsted Public Works has helped us with those trash removals too. We put a pile of recycling, a pile of garbage, and in the past they've helped us, with picking it up, and we couldn't.
That's right. We
We've
couldn't have done it without them.
It's great when the town is really supportive of the work you're doing, because you're certainly doing a lot of stuff that would probably fall on their shoulders if your organization wasn't around to do it.
True, yeah.
You know, a lot of great organizations in town like that, you know, whether it's Friends of Main Street or the Land Trust, and, you know, they really help kind of extend the resources of what the town has to offer. So, I mean, we appreciate what you're doing.
That's another part. We do have a partnership with the Highland Lake Watershed Association,
excellent.
and they help clean up some of our properties around Highland Lake. They've helped us raise money. They are big supporters. So
Absolutely. Now, I know some towns, and you know, we all know that Winstead, like many towns, has financial difficulties right now, but some towns that end up building up resources actually go and purchase and protect land. Is that something that you've had discussion with the town that they'd like to do? Should they get the resources? You know, obviously have certain priorities you have to get through first, but
Well, Jen's on the Conservation Commission, so she would know.
yeah, I think that's in the long term. I mean, I think in New Hartford, a very tiny percentage of people's property taxes go towards a fund that can then be used by the town. And we're not there yet, but you know, I hope as we get more members and more people looking towards conservation, that's one way that you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should have more preserved land in Winchester.
Sure.
It's a fairly low percentage of land is preserved here if you compare it with surrounding areas. So that means that more land is in danger of possibly being developed and inappropriately even. If you know, there's some of it is, it's so gorgeous and we love it so much that we really need to try to take care of it.
great. Well, I really appreciate you guys joining me today. Thanks so much for coming.